What's up, YouTube? Today I'm bringing back an oldie but a goodie, a deck that I've loved for a long time. It was one of my first couple deck guides on the channel, and this season I was struggling a bit with my normal stuff. Moonstone not in a great position when everyone's trying to counter ongoing, so decided to bust out the Nimrod Galactus deck. It's really more of a Nimrod deck, but Galactus is there, and sometimes you get wins with Galactus. But let's go over card by card. If you're interested in how this deck works, it's really fun. It's been really amazing for me so far, pre-infinite. We'll see what happens as we get. I just got into the 90's. I'll show you that gameplay in a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. But generally, what you're trying to do is use cards like Agony to beef up a really big Nimrod and then move it around the board. What is interesting about the deck is that while you can Galactus, normally you're going to try to Carnage, Venom, or Destroyer, and adding Destroyer makes it so much less predictable how you're going to spread your Nimrod, even when the opponent thinks they've got you pegged with Goliath or a move card or something like that. So let's go through Agony, card that is just built for a deck like this. Just getting a little bit of extra incremental power is helpful, but has another use case in this deck with Penny Parker that I'll get to as soon as I get to that card. Zabu, there are a whopping 4 4-drops in this deck, so lots of targets for Zabu. It's just a no-brainer card whenever you have that much potential discount. And it enables the high-end combo in this deck, which is Zabu turn 1, doesn't really matter, turn 2, turn 3, you want to play Symbiote Spider-Man, turn 4 Shuri, activate, then you're going to be able to play a 24 power Nimrod on turn 5, and from there, you can imagine. Carnage, one of our destroy activators for the Nimrod. Penny, this is a really versatile card, one that's not played very much, but you can go Agony into Penny, turn 1, turn 2, meaning that on turn 3 you have 4 energy, in which case you could play Symbiote Spider-Man on turn 3 and then go into the crazy combos, or just Galacta is really good on turn 3. Even Gwenpool, any of your 4s are just going to be super busted on turn 3, so Penny enables that. It also gives you the spider that you can use to buff up a Nimrod or something else later in the game, and finally it enables, it does something else. Oh yeah, of course, you can wait with your spider, play it on Penny on turn 4, and then on turn 5 you can Galactus early, if the board is amenable to that. A lot of times we're not doing that. Venom, another destroy card. Just like Carnage, you're going to use it at the end of the game most likely. Shuri, it's one of 2 ways of hyper boosting Nimrod, and usually the safer way. Even though it's going to give 1 less point of power than Symbiote Spider-Man will to Nimrod, it's safer because you don't care what happens to Shuri. If you play Shuri down and then they, Red Guardian it or something, it's fine, but if they Red Guardian Symbiote Spider-Man when it's vulnerable there, it's a different story. Galacta, just a super strong card, as everyone knows. There are some plays in this deck where you could Penny on turn 2, Spider it on turn 3, and then play Galacta into Agony. So right away you're getting some value from the Galacta when you go that way. And then in general, it's just good in a deck where you're trying to buff cards up. Gwenpool, this is probably the first card on the chopping block. It's not bad by any means, especially when it's discounted down to a 3 with Zabu. But it's just hard to, you have so many cards in hand usually in this deck, it's hard to actually get it to hit what you want. There are times when it comes up big, but overall, it's fine. Symbiote Spider-Man, there's obvious plays that you can do with this, where you Agony into this, and then you're gonna play your Nimrod. It's like a 13 power Nimrod, or you can sometimes go Symbiote Spider-Man into Galactus. It's not as common, but like I said earlier, my favorite play is the Symbiote Spider-Man into Shuri and the Nimrod, and it's just so much fun. Love this card, even if it is disruptible. Nimrod, this is a Nimrod deck. If you don't see Nimrod, you're kind of in trouble. I happen to see Nimrod a lot in these games, but keep that in mind. Be ready to retreat if you're not getting a Nimrod down or a lane that is easily Galactusable. But for the most part, the deck is a Nimrod deck. You really need the card. And finally, Galactus. Not finally, there's one more card. But Galactus is plan B, sometimes plan C. It does work out sometimes. You know, sometimes there's just an opponent that's playing heavily in one place or another. Sometimes you get a ton of extra energy on turn 1 or 2 from locations, and you can just cheese him out and then Shuri into Destroyer. But it's also just good to have as a threat. Sometimes the opponent gets so worried about when Galactus is going to come, they don't realize that you're not really a Galactus deck. It just is a happy accident sometimes. And finally, Destroyer. This card is the get out of jail free card whenever Eliath is around. It also just confuses the math for the opponent. They're expecting you to Carnage, they're expecting you to Venom. They're not usually expecting you to Destroyer. My favorite play of all time with Destroyer, and I'm not sure if it's in this gameplay or not, but it happens a lot. When you see the Space Throne, I will always put a piece of trash in the Space Throne when I know I have Destroyer in hand, because then once I get Nimrod down and I Destroyer, that piece of trash is going to go away. Whatever size Nimrod is going to go in there, and usually the opponent has already put something in there slightly bigger than my piece of small card, and Destroyer steals that lane. So yeah, that is the deck. It's super fun time. Gonna show you some gameplay. If you like the gameplay, if you like my decks, I try to do fun decks, go ahead and give a like and subscribe to the channel so you can see what I put out after this. Okay. So I'm just gonna play Zabu. I'm going to play it on the right to leave these lanes open, potentially for Galactus, depending on what shakes out. We also only have Shuri in hand, so we still have 3 4s in our deck for Zabu to hit. That could be good for us. Penny's fine over here. Created by Airsham. So I'm considering skipping Spider this turn, so I can play it next turn and then Galactus, but I don't know, there'll be an open lane against an Airsham deck. So I think I'll just play it out. And next turn we can probably just go Shuri and set up for a Nimrod. Okay. So it's tempting to do the Symbiote Spider-Man here. I'm a little worried about an Airsham deck having an answer to that, but I like being able to do Agony into it. And maybe we actually want to do it this way. They're less likely to play into Warrior Falls. Alright, since we have priority, I can play this here in case they're about to Shang-Chi on me. Well, Blob works too. Didn't expect them to get more than 15. that works. And unfortunately we can't Galactus, but we can just Venom Carnage, and yeah, that'll be a retreat. Alright. Good cards deck on the other side there. They have Gwenpool, Nimrod, or Destroyer, so if they got Nimrod or Destroyer, they have a pretty good idea what's going on. We've got some 4s in our deck. We'd like to Zabu, plus Utopia. Copycat, Galacta. Maybe we'll get some lucky hits on the Gwenpool here. And we have decent odds of drawing into Shuri or Symbiote Spider-Man, thanks to knowing Galactus on the bottom of our deck. Alright, Agony and Nimrod are good hits. Can actually get a 14 power Nimrod even without Shuri or Symbiote Spider-Man. When you have a choice, you'd rather target the left lane for a Nimrod play. It spreads better that way. You can play Iron Patriot here, just see what we get. Potentially get it discounted too next turn. Not very useful, but they don't know that. I think I probably would have been better off playing Iron Patriot in the middle. Because now we have one less slot to send a Nimrod over there. Maybe they'll Shang. That'd be good for us. Jug. Alright, so the question is, they have priority. We could Venom and Carnage. This deck probably runs Red Guardian, huh? We'll see. Okay. I think that means we win. I didn't expect them to help me out there. So as tempting as it is to just play out Penny now, that would kind of leave me stuck on turn 3, so I'm going to play Agony out. And I'm going to play it in the middle so I can play Penny on it next turn, for sure, pretty much, depending on what comes in the middle. So we got possibly Move Bounce, some kind of Move Good cards list, maybe Scream, something like that. So we have, if we draw into Shuri, next turn or the turn after, we have the nuts. Because next turn we're going to be able to play Symbiote Spider-Man thanks to this merge of Penny. Okay. Got all the move enablers and none of the payoffs so far. Okay. I think we play to the left. Even if we don't draw Shuri, we can Spider on Symbiote Spider-Man. Still get a 16 power Nimrod, which is quite strong. In fact, I think I'm gonna snap. We already have Carnage in hand even. We could draw Shuri here and just go nuts. If we draw Shuri, it's going to, on turn 5, give us a 24 power Nimrod. Okay, let's see. We just need Venom to be a true degenerate. So there's two ways in this deck to get to this ideal play line with Nimrod. I get big vultures going. Use Zabu to get Symbiote Spider-Man down to a 3, or you can do the Agony into Penny play if you have it, to be able to ramp out on Symbiote Spider-Man on turn 3. Okay. Hopefully we draw Venom. If we don't, they probably outpower us. It's possible they outpower us anyway, but we'll see. 24 is a big Nimrod. Okay. And they even have priority, so they can't Shang-Chi if they would have it. So Venom. And then probably Carnage here. Yeah. A lot of retreats, but at least we got him to get to 4 cubes. Okay. Agony in the middle so we can Penny next turn. It's gotta be an Airshim card, right? Oh, sick. We have to be aware that an Airshim deck probably runs Goliath. But this is just too strong of a line. Symbiote, Spider-Man, the Shuri, and the Nimrod. Anybody else ever feel like you don't know when you actually have activated something? Always double check it. That's a Thanos deck too. Okay. So yeah. It'd be a 24 power Nimrod. We're hoping to draw Venom or Destroyer. We actually have priority, which is nice. We didn't get the Venom or Destroyer. Man, if we had drawn Galactus, anything. Yeah, still get the retreat from them. Hey, same avatar. Double Gwen pulls. Actually not that good in this deck. Gwenpool's like the worst of our fours, and Gwenpool's still pretty good, but we want to see pretty much every other four before we do Gwenpool. I think Penny here. It's probably good for them they don't have the Shang-Chi later. I think we Shuri over here into Nimrod. Dracula. Airshim? No, that's from Iron Patriot. We have Venom and Carnage. It is an Airshim deck. I'm gonna be conservative on snapping here, because I expect Goliath. Okay. Expect Goliath left. If I had drawn Destroyer, I'd use that. I could just try to cheese out a Galactus win. Perfect. That's my favorite part of this deck, is zigging whenever you know, when they telegraph Goliath is coming. Okay. So that's how the deck works. We faced some bots, but overall we played a lot of real opponents, and this deck absolutely cruised from the 70s all the way up to 93, and I only stopped there because I had to go to bed. So let me go ahead and show you some of the numbers. I mean, I was 18-6 with this deck, and plus 49 cubes. I mean, that's an absurd 2 cubes, average cubes per game, 75% win rate. And like I said, it includes a couple bots, but for the most part, it's just been not really countered in this current meta. So super well positioned. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. I respond to every comment. And if you like that, subscribe to the channel for more. Later.